Welcome to the But Also Trail Running Podcast. I'm your host, Celeste Rong. Let me start with a warning that this is an adult-only podcast. There will be profanity. I would apologize, but I'm not really sorry. So tonight, I am once again joined by Rick Amernick. Did I do it right this time?
It's close.
Okay, go ahead. Say it.
I like to say, think of like a camera. Amernick, you know,
Amernick.
like that. It's, Amernick.
The sad thing is in 5 minutes, I'll forget again.
It's all good. All good.
So this is our third episode together. We're kind of wrapping up the trilogy here, talking about the DC Capital Striders and all the amazing things that have come from this group. And it's just a fascinating story. So I think tonight, what we want to do is talk about a lot of the charity work you've done and the I got distracted. Sorry. The partnerships that you've brought in, the volunteering, all the giving back that you've done, and how people can get involved, because I think that's important. So I will hand it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. Yes. You know, we've spoken for quite a while here, and I think that what we've done is basically very much like everyone does, is we started at the beginning, which was in 2006. We've talked about how, things just kind of evolved over the years, and a lot of really wonderful things happened that were able to create what we have now. And so it started with just a conversation with a neighbor in my neighborhood, and with me wanting to get more involved in the Washington, D.C. running scene, and, developing friendships and just getting more involved in the sport. And then a conversation with someone about incorporating in a website and creating races. And then a conversation with someone else about training people for this North Face Endurance Challenge trail run. And, like we talked about, like a spider web, it just kind of branched out. But the main hub has always been about giving back to the community. When I and some of my running friends involved in the group, we all were on the same page about, let's just not be about running. Let's be about giving back. And that's when we created the slogan DCCS, like going the extra mile. And going the extra mile for us meant absolutely volunteering, giving back to the running community. And we've done that quite a bit. And again, dating back to 2009, I believe the first race that we volunteered at, let me just look real quickly. It's been many, many years. Okay. So in 2009, I think that the marathon, the Washington, D.C. marathon, it was not called rock and roll at that time, right, but it wasn't Marine Corps, because they had two marathons. They still had the Marine Corps, but they also had, I think it was called National Marathon or the SunTrust Marathon. It was around RFK, or it started at RFK, and it was mainly, around the Capitol building area of Washington, D.C. And so we sent a team of volunteers out there. And this is a marathon. So we had probably 10 to 12 tables full of water cups, Gatorade, other energy gels, and cheering station. Mm-hmm. And it was fabulous. And we got hooked on giving back to the running community. So that was a way of going the extra mile. Not every running group does that. Right. But just to share with you, we have volunteered at Alexandria Running Festival, Army 10 Miler, Abibe Bikila International Peace Half and Full Marathon, Gynecological Cancer Foundation Half Marathon that they had in 2009, Potomac River Run Half and Full Marathon. They do that twice a year. We volunteered there twice a year every year since 2009.
Wow.
So think about that. I mean, that's like 26 races that we volunteered at. Just one race. We volunteered at it like 26 times. Nike Women's Half Marathon came through DC in 2013 and 2014. Rock and Roll, Veterans Day 10Ks. I mean, we're celebrating Veterans Day right now. We volunteered at the Veterans Day 10K several years back in Washington, D.C., Friends of the WNOD 10K. We even volunteered at triathlons. DC had the nation's triathlon for several years. They might still have it. And so we volunteered at trail runs, we volunteered at road runs, we send volunteers to these races. And the interesting part about it, or one of the really great things about it, is obviously the race directors love having volunteers, but
Yeah.
also what we do is, we try to give swag to our volunteers. So most volunteers that come to our races or where we volunteer get a DC Capital Striders like technical running shirt or a running hat or a buff or gloves or socks or something that we've received from our vendors and our partners. We give them coffee, we give them donuts, we play, rock music, and it's like a really great time. So it's a really good way to support the running community, get involved with DC Capital Striders through volunteering. We have a Facebook page, DCCS:volunteers. Very easy to get involved, very easy to join the Facebook page. You'll see a lot of pictures there. On our website, there's a tab for volunteering, and it says our volunteer history or how to connect with us. So there's an opportunity to get involved with volunteering, and that's how we give back to the running community as well. So it's great. We love it, and we hope to do it more in the years to come. So giving back, volunteering, perfect example. Another way to give back we talked about last session was our Holiday Lights Run, where we donated toys to Salvation Army. We gave money to St. Jude Research Hospital, Children's Hospital, and we did that for many, many years. We talked about how COVID kind of backtracked us a little bit, including pretty much everyone else. And that hasn't returned yet, but it's not completely out of the woods for that to return at some point in the future as well. Then we talked about like an amazing race type concept run. We now call it the scavenger group run. That's on our website as well, where teams of runners get together and they solve clues and they run the various parts around town. And we have done that for charity as well. And sometimes we give, some of our partners, we have an opportunity for them to share their product with the attendees. And that's a really nice way for them to get involved as well.
Right.
And most of these companies like that because they want to get involved in charity events. And so what we've done in the past is we worked with some of our energy partners. We will literally say to them, hey, we're going to host a Holiday Lights Run event in December of 2026. We're going to have approximately 200 to 250 runners come. We're going to collect toys for Salvation Army. We're going to raise money for St. Jude's. Would you like to offer us some product? And like 95% of the time, they're like, absolutely. How can we get involved? Where can we send product? Or where can we send coupons for product? Where can we send flyers for product? We've done the raffles. So, like Orange Mud will send some of they make these towels that after you run, you cover your car seat.
Yep.
Or Roll Recovery has done a lot with us for like, they call them like R8s and R6s. And basically you roll out your muscles and, just for recovery after, runs, training runs, or just regular group runs. But we've had a lot of vendors that have wanted to get involved in those charity events as well. So we love that. And so, the giving back part, again, we are a running group. We have the group runs and I've had people like some of our group runs literally have started with someone saying, hey, like I run in Capitol Hill and I run on Tuesday mornings and I run with 2 or 3 other people. we would love to have people join us. We go to a coffee shop afterwards, and we start at 6 o'clock. And can you create a run for us? And I'll be like, yeah, let's do it. DCCS Capitol Hill, Tuesday mornings, this time, this is where they meet, this is where they go, open to all runners. Meet at the coffee shop if you want afterwards. If you don't, you want to get yourself together and go to work, fine. Just come out, get involved. So a lot of our runs have started that way, and I encourage anyone listening to this podcast, if you're interested in being under the DC Capital Striders Running Group umbrella and you live somewhere in the district or in Maryland or Virginia, and we don't have a group run in your neighborhood and you're interested in one, just get in touch with me and we can talk about how to make that happen. It's very easy to get in touch. It's just dccapitalstriders@gmail.com. It's very easy to remember.
Yeah.
But that is a possibility. It certainly is a possibility. It much less. I mean, it much more is a possibility in the spring because you'll probably recruit a lot more runners that way. But if you're a fall, like mid-fall, late fall, winter runner, we could create the opportunity for that to happen as well. So on our website, we have all the group runs listed. We have recently reached out to a lot of clubs that run on tracks. So now a lot of people reach out to us and they say, I'm a track runner. I'd like to find out like where's a track in the area where I can get in some speed workouts. Well, you can now find it on our website.
It's a good idea.
Running podcasts, very much like yours. A tab on our website. Where do you find running podcasts? Where are the links? What is it called? How can I find it? The events are on there. The Holiday Lights run are on there. The scavenger runs are now on there. And also, what I failed to mention before is, a lot of these shoe companies, they make new shoes every year, every few years, and they want to launch these events where runners come in and they can test the shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And many times they bring in, again, energy, nutrition partners, apparel partners, and we've done those before. Most of the run shoe events we've done recently have happened through our trail runs at Great Falls. And the only reason why I say that is because more people can get there. There's ample parking. There's a huge parking lot, and it's a beautiful venue. So we have had Hoka out there. We've had Solomon out there. Next year, we're hoping to have Saucony out there, Brooks out there, Alter out there. So there's some really exciting things happening in 2026 for us in the run shoe department. The volunteering is continuing. Also on our website is, one of the things that I believe is important is I don't personally believe we're in competition with anybody. I feel like running is a family. And I feel like, if I have an opportunity to spread joy and spread love and spread recognition to a local running store in the area, I want to do it.
Right.
So on our website is Pacers. Where are they located? What are they doing? Potomac River Running Store. Where are they located? What are they doing? Fleet Feet. Where are they? What are they doing? Georgetown Running Store. Where are they? What are they doing? And then also, we're DMV, right? But Frederick, Maryland isn't too far away. Fredericksburg, Virginia isn't too far away. And they have running stores down there. So I want to put them on our website. Also, race companies, regardless whether or not it's road running or trail running, I want to put those on our website as well. So I would like our website to be a platform where we have all the group runs listed, track workouts listed, clubs in the area listed, not only ours, but other running clubs in the area, running stores in the area, race companies in the area, podcasts in the area, and the charity events and the volunteering that we're doing. So all that since 2006.
And it's a community.
Yeah.
It's like 100%. You said, it's not
100%.
A competition.
No.
Let's just keep building this community however we can.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, when I was down in Washington that first April in 2006, I did see over several months Capital Area Runners, Potomac Runners, Georgetown Runners, Washington Running Club, and I was like, wow, like this is really cool because that's not what I saw when I was residing up in Baltimore. And Baltimore has a phenomenal running scene now. Maybe they had it in 2000 or early 2000. I was not a part of it. But when I moved to this area, I quickly understood how rich the running history is in Washington, D.C. And I was like, okay, like we have to start somewhere. So that's how we started, basically with just an idea, and it's evolved and it's fascinating. It's been life changing for me. As you mentioned before, it probably has changed the course of a lot of other people's lives, hopefully for the better.
Yeah.
I've heard stories of some of our runners losing a significant amount of weight. I've heard some stories of some of our runners basically like not having diabetes anymore or high blood pressure anymore.
Hmm.
And I love to hear that. Absolutely love to hear that.
Yeah.
I actually ask people all the time. They don't do it as often as I would like, but I say to people, how long you been running with DC Capital Striders? And some people will say, I've been running with you guys for around 5 years now. And I was like, in 5 years' time, a lot of you've probably experienced a lot of things with our running group. You've met maybe some new friends. You've probably completed some races that you never thought you would complete before you possibly joined our group. Would you
Hmm.
like to give us a testimonial? And what I'm trying to do is post those testimonials on our website, like what your experience has been with our with our running group.
Hmm.
And, I got one recently from a guy named Tim, and he said, I attended my first group run. It was a great experience with people who were so welcoming, a challenging set of trails, and free stuff from an industry rep. Fun time. I can't wait for next week. And that's like the most neutral, innocuous one, but we've had some that are like pretty intense with like what it's done for them. And we have Washington DC is a pretty great place to visit from London and France and Germany. And we have a lot of runners that come in from overseas, and they write me and they say, how can I come to your group run? Is it free? How do I join? How do I get involved? And I love that. And I'll basically this is where our Facebook group page is. If you're not on Facebook, don't worry about it. But, I'll tell them where to go, and
Right.
I'll say we're open, to all types of runners. And most do go, and most enjoy it. And the right things on our Facebook page, like, thanks for having me. I loved running with you guys when I was in Washington, D.C. And if I can, I send them a hat and I say, hey, show some DCCS love to Berlin, Germany, or show some DCCS love to London, England, or, Rome, and anywhere, And so I like that too.
I
It's great.
love that. Like, I love the fact that
Yeah.
it's almost everywhere you go, right? We're all so similar in a lot of ways. Even when we're different, we're similar, and we're all just looking for community, right? We all need
Agreed.
the support, and
Agreed. I agree.
yeah,
Um, I don't even know, we've spoken now for 2.5 hours, I guess.
yeah.
And I'm trying to like think like what else would anyone want to know? But I feel like I've covered a lot.
You have. No, you have. And it's been
And
fascinating story to
yeah.
me. And a few things that it made me think of when I'm listening.
Hmm.
I can't remember if I said this on the podcast or when you and I were just talking, but
Okay.
like my one thing I've always tried to teach my children is give back. You got to give back. And I don't, however that looks to you is acceptable, right?
Yeah.
If you're into whatever sports, find a way to volunteer, find a way like
Yep.
coach or do whatever. I don't, you know what I mean? Like give
Whatever
back
it
to your
is.
community, whatever your community is. give that
Yes.
community a positive impact from your actions.
Yes.
And I think that runners in general, we're good at that, right? I think that especially when you're doing things and pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, which a lot of running is,
Right.
you find that the give and take, I think, and you see it on the roads. I think you see it a little bit more on the trails,
Mm-hmm.
especially once you get into like the ultra community and the way like I've seen elite athletes trying to help, back of the packers reach goals. And
Yes.
it's just
Yes.
beautiful. I have a friend,
Yeah.
and I can't remember if it was my first 100-miler or my fifth. I don't remember. But
Yeah.
he was there, and we had met because I was crewing at a 100-mile race, and he got to an aid station, and his brother wasn't there. And I didn't know him, but I was like, "What do you need? I got everything in my trunk. Let's get you fixed." Helped him out, and he left.
Yeah.
And then I saw him at my first 100-miler, and he actually set the course record that day for the 100-mile. Went home. Now I'm a lot slower than him. Calls me, or he messaged me, and he's like, "Do you need anything? I'll come back and crew you, pace you, whatever you need." After doing a 100-miler, setting the course record, he's like messaging me, who's like back of the
Yeah.
pack kind of girl.
Yeah.
What do you need? Let me help you. And I'm just like, right? It
Who
was like,
does that?
exactly. But they do, like, I'll sit and watch this. Like, I did a race a couple weeks ago, and I didn't DNF. It was a 30-hour race, but I got hurt, so I only did 56 miles. But like,
Only.
yeah, right. But so I was hanging out with friends and supporting and helping crew and just watching. Like, sometimes you just got to go and watch an ultra marathon because
Well, it's a long day.
it is a long day. But you will see the
Yeah.
people like,
Yeah.
the aid stations and the food and the helping with the whatever. It's just a beautiful experience of
You can get
humanity.
hooked. You can get hooked very, very quickly.
And it gives you, it kind of renews my faith in people because sometimes people are horrible.
It's interesting. You kind of like, it reminds me of races that I've been at where it's like the agony of the challenge of a race.
Mm-hmm.
When you see the finish line, some people are crying.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are screaming in pain. Some people are smiling with the biggest smile you've ever seen on a human being's face.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you see all three in the same exact person.
Oh yeah.
And it is. It kind of makes you like you're at a loss for words because you see the full range of emotion from someone that has spent years of their lives trying to just finish maybe that one race.
Yep.
That might be the only race they've ever done in their whole entire lives.
Yeah.
But it's a beautiful thing, and I love, the photographers that capture those moments. And your story with the guy that set the 100-mile record and messaged you and said, "Hey, can I help you out?" Like, that actually happens. You don't think it happens a lot, but it actually does happen a lot. A lot of the elite runners, they do leave. They go home, they shower, they might catch a nap. They might not even catch a nap. They might catch a whole night of sleep.
Yep.
And there are still people on the course, and they come back and they congratulate all the finishers, and they just make sure that they say to the people, if you finish first or you finish, 557th, we all finish, right? We all finish. We did the same exact course.
Yeah.
And that's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing.
So amazing to watch. Yeah. And the stories, that's the whole, I was just telling you, the whole reason I do this podcast is the stories and people's, like what brings us to where we're at, and sometimes it's somebody started running track in school and got into running that way. Or,
Absolutely.
like personally, I'm late in life. It was after my son was born. I was severely postpartum depression, and I was trying to lose weight and I got into running and my entire life changed. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
but the stories and how people get to where they're at, you know, I have friends that have fought addiction and
Yeah.
got clean
Oh, of
and got
course.
into running to stay clean. You know, I have a friend
100%.
who I helped pace him. At a race, he hit 169 miles. He's got cerebral palsy. They didn't think he was ever going to walk, and this man did 169 miles at a race.
What?
And he just did a 100-miler a couple weeks ago. I was with him. So like
Yeah.
those kind of stories where you just take a step back and go, holy shit, people
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
amazing.
I'm really glad that we now in 2000, almost approaching 2026, that we have the technology to be able to do these things because stories like that need to be heard.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like where would that be heard unless there were podcasts like what you're doing?
Yes, exactly. And the
Where would that be heard?
and I think that it's important that we're
Mm.
all authentic about our journeys, right? Because you know, running, you're going to have good days, you're going to have bad days, you're going to, and with everything, with life, with running, with, you know, goals, and you're going to fail and you're going to succeed. And, you know, we have to be authentic in that and be like, yeah, you know, things went really bad for me and I didn't do what I wanted to do that day. And I'm upset about it, but it's going to be okay. Because I think that, you know, personally, I mean, I'm talking for myself, but you hide in the feelings where it's like, oh, well, I'm a failure and I see other people succeeding. So, you know, you're comparing and all this.
Yeah.
And to have somebody who is successful go, no, I DNF'd. I had a hard time or I got injured. I'm having a hard time coming back, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think it's important that we're honest about it because I think it helps us not feel
Yeah.
quite so alone in this world.
Yeah. I had a friend recently. We were having breakfast. He's not a runner, but we're around the same age. And he said to me, "Why do you do that?" And I said, "Why do I do what?" He's like, I had just done a race and I was talking about it with him. And I was saying that, when when you train just a regular random run, you go outside and many runners will say, I just need to get the first mile out of the way
Mhm.
because the first mile is sometimes the hardest.
Oh, yeah.
Typically it's the slowest.
It's a liar.
And sometimes it's cold and sometimes it takes a while to ease into your pace and your breathing and stuff like that. But you do get there.
Mhm.
And then I was saying that, I was doing this race and he's like, well, tell me about it. And I said, well, it was only 5 miles. And he's like, only 5 miles. And just like you were talking about, like these 100 milers, like you only did 56 miles,
Right.
but for me, for him, he was like, only 5 miles, like that's a long way. And I thought to myself, it really isn't, right?
Right.
But for him it was. And then we kept going and he's like, why do you do it? And I said, there are a lot of reasons why I do it. And I hope this story resonates with other people. I said, number one, I like it.
Yeah.
Why else do you do things? I do actually like it. Don't your knees hurt? I'm like, no, not really. My hamstrings and my, quads might hurt a little bit sometimes. My calves might hurt a little bit. My back might hurt a little bit. But whose back doesn't hurt in your mid 50s? Sometimes you get out of bed and you have a backache and it's like, well, what happened? I don't know. I twisted my back in my sleep,
I
and
breathe.
so yeah, I don't know. I coughed the wrong way. And so I said, well, that was the first thing I said. Look, I just like doing it. And he said, well, how long do you plan on doing it? And I said, how long do you plan on breathing?
Yeah.
Like for me, it was just like a weird question. I was like, I'm going to do it. You know what? I'm going to do it until it's not fun anymore. How about that? Is that a good answer? And I didn't mean to be mean, but I was kind of like taken back by that question. Like, how long are you going to do it? Why do you do it? How long are you going to do it? And for me, like, creating the running group, like that's a whole part of the story also, because how do you how do you create a running group and not be a runner? Right? Like, how does that happen?
Right.
And so, unless you're like, very injured, but even if you're injured, you still consider yourself a runner. Once a runner, you're always a runner. And once you experience the joy of running, you know what it feels like, you know what it takes, you know what it is, and it's a passion of yours. And that was my answer. I was like, it is like breathing to me. Just running is like breathing. You want to call it an addiction, call it an addiction. But I'd much rather be addicted to running than to tobacco or to alcohol or to some other narcotic or something like that.
It almost
It's
becomes
my
just a
my
part
thing.
of the personality. Like it's,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Just like, okay, you're a teacher. Okay, well, that's part of who
Yep.
you are. Well, I'm a runner. It's part of who
Absolutely.
I am. It's part of my identity.
Yeah.
For me, I'm a stay-at-home mom. And
Okay.
yeah, it was a struggle, with the kids, because it was like I didn't have my own identity. I was just mom,
Right.
and as a stay-at-home mom, it was like, where's my success? I changed diapers today. Like I got my kids a
Right.
nap. Like there was no,
Yeah. Where was the dopamine rush today?
right. There was no sense of identity. And one thing that I've always been passionate about with running is that
Hmm.
it's all on you, right?
Yeah.
So even if you have and a lot of times you can't do it without your community, without the support of your friends or whatever, but
Yeah.
it's also every single step I took.
Right.
So there's that huge sense of accomplishment also,
Yeah.
but a sense of self and a sense of, I don't know, worth,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So, which is another reason why I always like, okay, well, I have to give back to this community, whatever it is. So like,
Yeah.
again, I usually volunteer at multiple races every year. And I've done a few, like one year I did a virtual where
Oh.
yeah, I did a bunch of trails, and it was like, okay, for every trail you get a medal or whatever. And I think I raised, I don't know, like $2,000 for like local charities. And my friend who owns
Mm.
he owns Ragged Cuts, and he creates medals for races. And he donated them so I could give them out. So all the
That's
proceeds
so
went to
cool.
charity. And I'm like, you know what? Like, there's a
Well,
lot of good people in this community.
yeah. Well, I hope some of them or a lot of them are listening to this podcast right now.
Uh, we get,
This is what I want to say. This is what I want to say. So we probably do need to wrap this up, but this is what I want to say. So for me, for DC Capital Starters Running Group, there are a few things that I want to say. Number one, it takes a village, so it's not all about me. There has been numerous people that have supported the running club, that have been, encouraging and have gone the extra mile, many extra miles for the running group, and I appreciate and I love all of that. I love that story, and I hope it's been good for them. It certainly has been good for me, but I hope it's been good for them as well. And if the listener wants to get involved in any way, either the group run camp, the scavenger run charity group camp, the holiday lights camp, the volunteering camp, the partnership camp, the race company partnership camp, like just shoot me an email, dccapitalstriders@gmail.com. Find me on Facebook, find DC Capital Striders on Facebook or Instagram, and let's just continue the ball rolling. Let's go into 2026. I have high hopes for 2026. It's our 20th anniversary, and I've reached out to a lot of people that ran those first couple runs on the Smithsonian Mall, and some of them are out of the state, and they're like, I've lost touch with them, but I found them, and they're like, you're still doing that? I'm like,
so
well,
great.
I'm not running downtown anymore, but yeah, the group is still alive. That is fascinating, Rick. That is so cool that you kept that alive.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love that they love that. And so there's an opportunity for people to get involved. And I, I absolutely love the stories of the people that say, I met so and so because I went to one of your group runs, or I overcame so and so because I've joined your running club, or I've changed the course of my life because of your running club. Like if yeah, just like
Yeah.
you say, if you change one person's life, you've done a remarkable thing. But if you change thousands of people's lives, I mean, what does that say?
Yeah,
Right?
it's real. It's watching the
And
butterfly
so
effect,
it's
right?
great. Oh yeah, oh
Yeah,
yeah, for sure, for
yeah.
sure.
It's a
I hope we
beautiful
talk
story.
again.
Oh,
I hope we talk
absolutely.
again.
I
And
cannot thank
yeah,
you
thank
enough
you.
for coming here and telling your
Absolutely.
story.
I've loved every second of it.
I have too. And
Appreciate it.
again, I will put a link
Hmm.
so people can email or whatever. We'll include that
Yeah, I
so
appreciate
that
that
people
very
can
much.
find you, and I'll tag
We'll figure it out.
on. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, so Rick, I thank you very, very much, and
Thank you.
you're amazing.
Well, we are
We
amazing. How
we
about
women,
that?
yeah,
We
yeah,
are amazing.
yeah,
Yes.
and grateful.
Okay.